Guys, welcome back to SS Aquascapes. If you're new here, thanks for checking out the channel. Now don't mind the tank behind me, you can probably see it's not in the best condition, but we're going to get to that. Because in today's video, we're going to answer the age-old question, is filtration really that important? Is it? We're going to find out. Now there's a lot of videos on YouTube talking about no filtration tanks, low-tech tanks, low filtration tanks, and to a degree, I do agree with them. If you've got a super heavy plant load and a very little bio load, you can probably get away with it. Let me show you. So here is like the second tank I ever set up, and this is our little shrimp tank for our orange-eyed blue tigers. And sorry the GoPro is trying to get the lighting correct, but as you can see, this tank pretty much crystal clear. Now all I really run on this is CO2 and a little tiny sponge filter. Right there you can see. Now it is on a power head because I like that option better than the bubbles, but I've never ever had a problem with this tank. Never had an algae bloom, never had a bacterial bloom, nothing. I did let it cycle for 3 weeks before we introduced shrimp, but the only thing in this tank is just some little shrimp. So no bio load, some plants, tank's doing awesome. Let's move over here. Just set this tank up. If you haven't seen this video, this is my best aquascape to date, if you do ask me. Our little Iwagumi shrimp tank here. Also a 5-gallon tank. Should be really hard to maintain, right? But it's not. This tank's been running for a couple of weeks now. Very small bio load, just a little bit of shrimp, and we recently added 6 little chili rasboras, and they don't have much of a bio load either. Obviously very light feeding on the tank. I haven't had a single issue, and this was a fish instart or shrimp instart, whatever you want to call it. Never had an issue. It's coming along great. Tank is seeding in properly. Now back to this monstrosity. I've had nothing but problems with this 75-gallon tank since the day I set it up. We went through the diatome phase. It was horrible. Kind of, did a full water change on it and started over. Then we had an algae bloom. Had to take care of that. Then we had a blue-green algae bloom. The cyanobacteria, had to completely black the tank out and deal with that. Then we got a green water problem, kind of like what's going on now. So I did a complete rescape, drained the entire tank, cleaned it, everything, rebuilt it back up. And now here we are again with another green water situation. This is where I think filtration is important. Stick with me. I know it's a long intro, but here is where I think filtration is important. Take a trip with me out to the living room. This is our 10-gallon little molly and guppy tank, and you can see it's very heavily planted, actually growing in well. I've got a couple videos on this about bleaching plants and all kinds of stuff. This tank used to have some issues too. But what I want to show you is that you may see just a little cloudiness here in the water. For some reason, I guess in my maintenance going back and forth, I put algae spores in both tanks because this one last night looked identical to the... Oh, let me get my keys out of the way for you. Great YouTuber, huh? All right, so this tank here had the exact same problem last night as the 75-gallon back there. Completely green watered, right? So I dosed some Seachem Clarity last night, and I doubled its filtration with this contraption that I built here. I love power head sponge filters, and so I make them out of all my different little power heads. I'll do a video on that at some point. But overnight, you can see this tank is pretty much back to normal. So it looks like we got most of the algae spores out of here, just with filtration. Now let's take a closer look at our 75-gallon here, right? Just having problems. I also dosed Seachem Clarity in this last night, right? Just because I knew it was going to do a water change anyway, so why not try and clear it up with some chemicals, right? And you can see it didn't really do much. Here's why. All we have down here is a little teeny tiny Fluval 107. Now, I do love the Fluval 107. It's a completely quiet filter. It's very easy to clean because you can just pop this little lever right here and your hoses come off and you don't drip water all over the place. It's fantastic. I love the little filter. But this little filter is designed for like a 10 or 20 gallon tank, right? Or 10 or 15 gallon tank. But I was under the impression that some filtration, if you get all of your water parameters correct, some filtration should just be able to handle it. I think I was wrong. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna head down to my local fish shop and I'll show you around there again real quick. You guys seemed to like that shop last time, but I didn't really show enough of the fish apparently from some of the messages I've got. So we'll show you that. You can skip past it if you don't care. But we're gonna go down to the local fish shop here and we're gonna go get the Fluval 407 because I like the 07 series better than the FX just for the ease of cleaning and detaching the hoses. It's going to be the same price. I'm supporting a local business and I prefer to do it that way. But the 407 from Fluval is designed for a 75-gallon tank. So let's go get some proper filtration and we're going to find out if we can clear this tank up only by doing filtration. I'm not going to do anything else, just filtration. Will it remove, with Seachem Clarity, our cloudy water issue just like it did out there? Let's go. And here we are at Blue Water Zoo in Fort Walton Beach, Florida. Great little privately owned fish shop here. Let's go inside, give you a little bit better tour. Hard to see here because it's the dark entryway, but this is where all their custom tanks are, where they're going to have their display tanks set up. This is where you also shop for your tanks. Got your freshwater area over here. And I'll put all the tanks at the end of the video for you guys that really want to see all their selection. Got your freshwater side over here for all your freshwater and your coral needs. And then you've got all of your kind of shrimpy needs and your substrate needs, which we're going to get some today for an upcoming project on the channel. Got some nano tanks here, little nano tank section is pretty cool. I think I'll probably hit one of these up at some point. All your fish foods and your chemical needs down on these. Heaters and stuff in this aisle over here. You got your reptiles. Here's what a lot of people wanted to see is our local store has got driftwood like crazy all over here. Just crazy driftwood. Not as big as like the European scaping stores, you know, you guys got way more rocks and stuff over there, but for a US store, it's pretty good selection from what I've seen. Reptile habitat stuff, all of your things for your dry terrariums. You got your lighting section in here, your gravel section on the other side, and your, you know, artificial decor if that's your thing. Sumps. A wide selection of bettas. Over on this side is all your power heads and other filter stuff. And then over here we've got where we're going to be in the filter section. And this is the bad boy that we're going to grab. Alright, I'm going to pick this stuff up here, guys, and get some substrate. And I'll be back at the house in the next scene. Again, at the end of this video, I'm going to have a scan of all of the tanks for you. So if you'd like to just watch that at the end of the video to see their fish selection, you can do that. And we're back at the house. Now you'll have to pardon the wardrobe change because I was burning up. I'm filming this on Valentine's Day, and so I just got done building a garden in the backyard for my wife, something that she's wanted for a while now. So it is the same day, I promise. We just got back from the store. It's nighttime now, and I'm going to set this Fluval 407 up and get it in the tank. I'm not going to do a setup video for you. There are tens and tens of videos on the web, on YouTube, about setting these up from much more experienced creators than me, so you can go check out one of those if you want. Alright guys, for reference real quick, here's the 107 I was running on this big 75-gallon tank. I know, don't slam me in the comments too much, but that's what I was running. And you can see next to it the 407, so definitely way more filtration. But here's the cool part. I already have all of my hoses rigged and run for this tank. And wouldn't you know it, that they have the exact same 17mm hose for the 407, and the connection we do believe is the same. So watch this. All I'm gonna have to do once I get my media filled up is plug this in, and boom, wouldn't you know it, easy breezy swap over install. Now don't worry, this little 107 here is gonna actually go on the guppy tank that I showed you earlier in the video, the one I've also been having problems with because of the Bioload in that tank. And that's really the issue we're having with these tanks, is it's just a Bioload issue. This baby bass here creates a heck of a Bioload, and all of his food you see swimming in the murk there, they also produce a Bioload until they get consumed. Triple the filter on the 75 gallon, and yeah, probably triple the filter on this one because it has the Free C on it, which is a great filter. You should check that video out too. All right, guys, and there you have it. The 407 is installed. Again, pretty easy. All I did was just put the connector back on. But I'm not showing you a whole setup video. You guys can find that all over the internet. And if you are interested in the ZRDR DIY CO2, I do have a video of that on the channel. You can go check the list down below. And I'll put a little card at the end of the video, like right here probably. And you can go check out that video. I do like these systems. I have 3 of them now. But all right, guys, now I promise you, you just have to trust me. I am not doing anything to this tank. I'm not adding anything to it. I'm not doing anything. So we're gonna see if bumping up the mechanical filtration with more sponges, more water flow and all that kind of stuff, just a bigger mechanical filtration, will this tank clear up overnight like that one did with just a simple addition of a sponge filter? So I'm gonna let this run all night, and then we will see you in the morning here in just a second. Hey, it's the next morning, and I think you can already see the mechanical filtration is king. Look at this beauty right here. Nearly crystal clear. I mean, it's pretty much crystal clear, but I don't know how some of these aquascapers get that like invisible water. I have CO2 bubbles flying around everywhere, so I'll never have invisible water, but it is much clearer in person than I think it looks on camera. But you can tell, guys, that just adding a monster filter, well, it's not really a monster filter, but, you know, a decent size appropriate filter for your tank is really going to probably help out on most of your issues. Don't try and skimp like I did. So to wrap up the video, in summary, I tried to go cheap. I got a little teeny tiny filter. It was not big enough for the tank. I've struggled with all kinds of bacterial blooms and algae blooms and green waters and all this stuff. And yeah, I could get it to clear up for like a couple of days, but I just don't think the filter could handle it. And I really wanted to be one of those aquascapers that just did minimum filtration and had beautiful, luscious tanks. If you have a heavy bioload, like a largemouth bass and a bunch of minnows or a bunch of guppies or something like that, if your bioload is high, don't skimp on your filter, right? I saw another YouTuber mention something on filters, and he did a big explanation of why, and it made a lot of sense. When you see the up to rating on a filter, so up to 1,000 liters or up to 500 liters or up to 100 gallons or whatever, take that up to number, divide it in half. And that's probably what that filter will handle, you know, continuously. So for me, the Fluval says up to 100 gallons, which would really make it 50 gallons, and I'm at 75 gallons. So I'm still kind of skimping a little on filtration, I think. But I'm just not FX6 material yet. I can't do it. I just don't know why I don't like those filters, but I don't like the way they're set up. But keep that in mind, guys. Bioload will determine your filtration. So don't be like me. Learn from this video. Filtration does matter in certain instances. Now, we are going to do a Wallstad tank coming up pretty soon, and we'll just see how that goes. But I appreciate you guys watching this video, and if you enjoyed it, please hit the thumbs up button. That helps push the video out. Again, don't forget this is a new channel, so if you enjoy my content and want to see more, subscription would help me out as well. I will catch you guys on the next one, and I'm going to finally sit down and just watch the fish and enjoy this crystal clean tank.